DHG here doing the oral review for Red Dead Redemption. Joking on all things oral, highly encouraged in the comments. I do this mainly for the Rumble audience. In YouTube you can just read all this in the game description, but on Rumble it looks like a giant run-on sentence. So out of all the out of all the possible ratings I could give, terrible, bad, average, good, and great, my rating, which is based off upon my experience playing it, is good. When gamers think westerns, they think Red Dead. There have been many westerns over the years, not enough in my opinion, but all failed to make the impact that Red Dead Redemption did. Much like the Wild West, game developers were taming the wild gaming landscape at the time, searching for new ways to deliver an authentic, story-driven critique of the subject matter while balancing gameplay with it. This is no easy task. And while there are flaws, Rockstar pulled it off. The open world gameplay games are known for were first popularized by Rockstar's GTA series, specifically GTA 3. When a new open world game came out, people would describe it as like GTA. Within Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar falls victim to its own design. There is a large open world to explore, but for no other reason than to explore. Herein lies the main problem with the open world layout. If you're going to build a big open world, give players shit to do outside of the story missions. Once I figured out how to fast travel in Red Dead Redemption, I didn't bother taking my horse anywhere because there was really nothing to see. I mean, there's a lot of sand to look at, there's some trees, you might encounter a stranger from here to there, but there really wasn't much in the open world in the way of landmarks to see, stuff like there just wasn't much to do. It just felt like a waste of space. And apart from some bugs, some of which were funny, and I like to open my video with, the somewhat desolate world was the main reason why I couldn't give this game a great rating, which I wanted to, I just couldn't, because the narrative in this game is great. The story of John Marston is certainly one you need to experience. So let's discuss what makes this a good game. Being set during the early 1900s, given my knowledge of history and my beliefs as an American nationalist, I found Rockstar's critique of the American experiment refreshingly honest. No nation is without its sins, and knowing those sins is key to bettering yourselves as a nation. This is why I abhor revisionist history, such as World War II games showing men, women, blacks and whites all fighting together on the same battlefield. That didn't happen. Women served in the Soviet Union, nowhere else. Armies were segregated by color. The American Army, I know, was segregated at that time, but yet was fighting for freedom. The irony. Much to Rockstar's credit, changing history to suit the ideals of the present makes us ignorant and dooms us to repeat our mistakes. Much to Rockstar's credit, none of that garbage was on display here. I didn't notice any revisionist history here. Rockstar did a good job. The horrible treatment of the Native Americans is covered. The overreach and unethical behavior of the FBI is on full display. And Christian views of leading a better, morally driven life drive the story. On to how I break the games up and how I rate it on different elements. First is graphics. Impressive. Being over 12 years old now, and if upscaled to 4K like some of the remasters do, they don't really change anything within the game, they just upscale it to 4K. If this game were upscaled to 4K, it would look amazing because they put some really high quality assets into this. Some games don't look that good scaled up. This would look amazing. Some games don't look that much different upscaled because of the base material. I just covered that. This isn't one of those games. Rockstar did a hell of a job with the visuals. Controls. Easy to pick up and play. There is a level of complexity, but it's not as complex as something like GTA 5. If you don't play for a week, you don't forget the controls. The aim and sensitivity could be a little bit better, but having Deadeye helps with that out greatly. It could also have been my Xbox 360 controller. The right thumbsticks tend to go. Occasionally an input wouldn't register, but that's rare. Gameplay. Here's where the game lost some points. As I said, there is a massive open world, but outside the story missions there isn't a whole lot to do. It's a waste of space. They could have made the map about 50% smaller or somewhere in that vicinity while retaining the same feel. Aside from that, the gameplay content of story missions varies quite a bit. Sometimes you'll be leading a Marxist revolution in Mexico, showing your son how to hunt, herding suicide cattle from running off of cliffs, which was entertaining to say the least, tracking down a cannibal, or talking to someone who could be arguably described as God. Never quite figured that one out myself. Also, if my horse runs past me one more time, I'm going to kill it and eat it. Sound. Always a strong point in Rockstar games, and a must-have in open-world games. The sounds of nature are everywhere. While playing, I often wondered why the birds were singing at midnight, and then realized it was the game world, not the real world. Small details like this make or break immersion in open-world games. And while just one example, you can find many, many more. Guns, voice acting, audio cues are all done very well. Music in this game is superb. The music sets the tone of the game, and right from the beginning in the introduction, the gameplay main menu, you know you are in for a bleak, harrowing journey along the lines of the movie Hostiles with Christian Bale. If you've ever seen that movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's called Hostiles with Christian Bale, and it's a western just like this, and it is dark, very dark in tone. Story, also superb. I'm not getting into it to avoid spoilers, but you will not forget John Marston's story. Stability and bugs. I encountered one game-breaking bug I managed to work around. While the workaround worked for me, it may not have worked for others and gets a score hit. There were quite a few bugs that had no gameplay effect, other than making me laugh a little bit, which is welcome. Opinions. I would have given this a great score had I not encountered a game-breaking bug and there was more to do in the open world, or if there was more to do in the open world. Red Dead Redemption is available on Xbox 360. This is one of their backwards compatible titles. Or, if you want, you could play it on PS3, but I don't recommend it. It's roughly the same gameplay experience, it just doesn't look as good. And that's it. That's my review for my oral review for Red Dead Redemption. DHG out.